this one might seem simple, but it's simply the rich have a plan. They're fanatical. They're absolutely fanatical about their plan and their schedule. And they chunk it down into small, bite-sized things that they can actually tangibly place action on, and they don't become overwhelmed by it. So a key to your financial future is to be a fanatical planner. This one might seem a little bit hokey for people, right? And people that really aren't into like self-help and kind of like that constant idea of learning. Is the rich, they have a better psychology, a better personal psychology. And what do I mean by that? You know, attitude becomes everything, right? Your thoughts, what you put into yourself, right? The rich out there, they have a positive self-talk, right? They're focused, and as a result, they've got a kind of a better, stronger personal psychology around their business and around what they're doing, versus a lot of the times, you know, the opposite to that is somebody who doubts themselves, right? And never provides any positive reinforcement that they can achieve what it is, you know, these top producers, right? The top people with the top mindsets are actually doing. Oh, this is one of my favorite. This is one of the things I wrote down years ago, and I actually had a full diagram written when I listened to this for the first time. And that was simply, the rich make better decisions, right? What do I mean by that? They're constantly on this path to closing the loops in their business, right? I think I talked about this a little bit, is that, you know, so many, we take on these projects and we start them, and we get distracted with active client work. We get distracted with, well, my buddy's going to play golf, whatever that is. But we leave these open loops, right? For the rich, for the top producers out there in our industry, this just doesn't happen, right? Closing these loops provides peace of mind, and it provides, again, you're executing versus inaction, right? You're allowed to, you know, you've got a plan, and you can, versus the person that doesn't, right? You have this ability when you're closing loops to just simply move more things forward than the average agent. It's not because that top producer has more time. They just make better use of it, and they make better decisions. This one actually hits home really well because of the way our business model is set up at Redline, right? And simply is that the rich are out there, and they're casting a larger net. Right? What does that mean? Right? They're fishing with more rods, with a net, versus, you know, that single item that is like my hope and pray, right? They are simply casting a larger net at their business. And how they do that, you know, for a lot of people is probably, you know, one of those mythical things. How are they doing all those things? Well, they've got systems and processes and admin and support behind them, so they can actually focus on being creative and in casting that wider net, right? You don't know what's going to come in, right? But you sure as hell don't want to just hope and pray on that one line, right? What if you expanded and you thought bigger and you put it out there to a much wider audience? I guarantee you, you're just, by math, it's simply math, you're going to get more coming in because of it. Another big one, and again, I'm going to stop writing on this because, as you can tell, I'm pretty tall and I'm running out of room. But again, this one plays in so well to our company. Again, to our company, it's the rich, they use leverage, right? It's something I preach about. One of the hardest things for me as a business person, and I mentioned this before, and I mention all the time, was bringing on an assistant, bringing on somebody. It felt like more work, right? Because I had to train them, and I was already quite good at these things. But once I let go and got out of my own way, stuff really started to flow, right? So the rich use leverage. The top producers use leverage, and they're not scared by it. Believe it or not, the rich and the top agents, they literally just do more of everything, right? I have friends in this business that are top producing. They're selling 80 to 100 homes on their own, right? Those are numbers that most people would never even consider making. But why is he doing that? Because he prospects more than all of his other agents, right? He prospects probably more than his entire team combined. But he's doing this in excess so that he can live a life and have things for his family that others would simply just dream about. For us as realtors, we're typically home-based, right? We work out of our office, we work out of coffee shops, we work out of our iPads. We've got to love technology, right? We have that. For those of you highly listing agents, you can work from Costa Rica for all that matters. But the rich, and the difference between those top agents and those average agents is they've been able to figure out how to control your environment to match up with your goals, right? If your goals are high and you want to strive to succeed in this business and take advantage of the opportunity we have as realtors, the rich have been able to control their own home environment or their mobile workspace or their in-office space to match their goals, right? And what do I mean by that? It would be things like organization, right? It'd be things like clutter. It'd be things like a system and a process, just like your inbox, and how you use that, right? Controlling your environment to be best, to put you into a very efficient space so that you can make the best use of your time and ultimately succeed in this business where others aren't. So that was a long list of a lot of powerful statements that I think if you thought back and reflected on your business, that there's many places throughout your career and your day-to-day life and how you've been interacting that some of these statements will probably resonate with you. And that's my goal with this message today is simply to kind of preach in a sorts that there's more out there for you, right? That there's nothing magical about what the rest are doing, what the rich are doing. There's certainly zero magical about what that average agent is doing, right? So find something within this list and the other stuff that I put on this audio series, and I challenge you to say what it is that's going to work for me, that I want to take some strides on and move forward on, and reach back, right? Reach back to us. I'd love to hear which one it was that worked for you.